This is a story about story. Since the dawn of humanity, our lives have been defined, given meaning, by the stories we tell. This truth is especially evident in Native American communities where culture is still being passed through the generations by the telling of stories. We take you now to Chamberlain, South Dakota, where a nonprofit organization called Native Hope is bringing this ancient oral tradition of storytelling into the digital world through innovative programs that give voice to Native Americans across the country. It does so under one guiding principle: healing through storytelling.
Native Hope is an organization who their focus is on empowering Native youth, whether that's through education, raising awareness, helping provide resources to them. They travel all over the country and spread awareness of what Native American hope looks like. So their focus is on the positive aspects of our people and our communities, the artists and the musicians and the Native culture and the beauty of our people. They want to find Native people who have a story to tell and then shine a light on that story.
We're in Lower Brew, South Dakota, the Lower Brew Indian Reservation, home of the Lower Brew Sioux tribe, and home of my people, the Kuichasha Oyate. The Warrior's Path was a path created generations before us. It's a path through the hills that's really rigorous and the terrain's really tough. That's why the name is Warrior's Path. It takes a warrior to run it.
When we were young men and we'd ride our horses through Warrior's Path, we'd jog it, we'd ride our bikes on it. Once we ran the path the whole way without stopping, it felt like, we accomplished something.
Me and my brother encountered hard times in our lives, and it took us away from the community, but also allowed us to see the big picture of what our community is.
The struggle we had faced was abandonment. We had our grandmother who really did a lot for us, but the struggles were bigger than that.
Growing up on a reservation, the poverty rate's magnified. Right now, I believe 47% in our community. The suicide rate is 10 times the national rate for ages 15 to 24. And them are some of the things we struggled with our whole lives. We always felt as Shekbaz, as twins, and as warriors to want to change for our people so we all can live a better life together.
We're right outside of my grandma's house on Iron Nest Street, right in the heart of Lower Brew. My work with Native Hope and the philosophy that I carry in life that I want to impact on the youth I mentor is, we're all going to face obstacles because that's life. We're all going to face adversity, but I don't want the kids to quit. I want them to know that we all have great things to offer this world, and without perseverance, sometimes we never really know what that might be. I was needing something different in my life, and I went back to construction, and I met this lady. She told me about Native Hope. Their mission and goal aligned with what me and my brother were trying to do. My long-term goal is to empower the fathers in this community to step up, take care of their kids, and be a part of their lives every day.
Well, you could look up to them in all kinds of ways. They're smart, athletic, supportive. Growing up in a bad home and stuff, seeing my mom get abused, didn't want to end up in that type of situation in my life, and wanted to be a better person.
My short-term goal for Native Hope is to start a youth basketball team, like an enrichment program. The thing I want to do is use basketball as a tool to keep these kids in school through the summertime, and working with the schools to make sure that they're going to school, their attendance is good, because after basketball's over, a lot of the kids don't come to school, their attendance drops, their grades drop. So we want to come in and sit there and say, hey, well, basketball isn't over because we can go to these tournaments, you know, then the team will get better if every individual gets better.
These kids here that are playing right now are a mixture of the struggle and also the leaders. What we do with these kids is it's a combination of intervention, it's being a role model, taking them away from this environment even if it's for a couple days. Some kids, they just need somebody to look up to, while other kids, you know, we have to pull to the side. We have to consistently, you know, tell them, hey, we love them, we care for them, and not just saying it, but by action.
To me, I think this is like the getaway from home and like all the other stuff that's going on in their lives, and like coming here and getting to play on the court and being with their friends is like more likely really healthy for them instead of them being at home doing nothing.
Most of us have an older relative, an older brother, uncle, something that, you know, excelled on this court and had all their dreams lost in a snap of a fingers because of one wrong choice. And once we can get that message across, it really helps the big picture. One thing that I do carry with me that an elder once said to me, you know, before we were put on reservations and given tribal enrollment cards, Lakota was in your heart and in your mind, and the way you lived and preserved the 7 Lakota virtues that we carry ourselves by and that I try to follow every single day of my life. The 7 virtues of the Lakota are respect, generosity, compassion, honesty, prayer, humility, and wisdom.
Storytelling is at the root of understanding, and it always has been. In order to tell these stories that we tell, these positive stories, we really seek out many different avenues. A lot of them happen to be people we know, and then we meet with them, we talk with them, we establish a relationship. We want to make sure that they are comfortable in telling their stories, and it kind of empowers them to be able to say, hey, yeah, I really do have a story. I have something to say. If we tell the story in a way that creates empathy, creates understanding, then there can be unity. And I think that storytelling is the most valuable tool anybody can use.
This is the Native Hope headquarters, our main facility here in Chamberlain, South Dakota. And this is, to me, this is my sanctuary, this is my safe place, and this is where, in my eyes, dreams come true for my people.
My name is Frank Wan, and I'm a Sichungu Lakota hip-hop artist, audio engineer, and music producer from the Rosebud Reservation in South Dakota. So much of the reality of Indigenous people and the reality of my life, being a young Indigenous person growing up on the reservation, is shaped by politics and history, whether we want it to be or not, because we have been considered wards of the U.S. government since the creation of this government. Our people have suffered a long history of settler colonialism and attempted genocide. If you look at it statistically speaking, you know, there are over 500 different Indigenous nations in the United States alone, and the U.S. government wiped out 99.8% of all Indigenous people in the United States. That's a genocide. Only 0.02% of us survived. So we are the descendants of those survivors, you know, and I feel like our people have never been given a chance to heal from that genocide. Our communities have come to internalize the violence that put us in that situation. I find art is one of the greatest ways to express the truth, because I can sit here and I can ramble historical facts off at you all day and it'll be kind of boring. Or I can write a song and put some emotion into that. This is how I take that pain, that trauma of genocide and, you know, that violence and all that painful history and transfer that energy or turn it into something positive. And it's almost like alchemy, you know, finding a way to heal in whatever way you see fit. And when you do that, open it up to your community and offer others to heal with you. I think that that's a way to create positive change, to create positive stories, and to create positive representations for young Native people.
Thank you to Misu here, Frank, for being with us and giving us inspiration.
I started reconnecting to ceremony and stuff when I was 19. Before I did all that, like, I was really lost. Like, it was like hopeless, you know? Up until I found ceremony, music was the only thing that made me want to live most days. So that's why I did music, because it was like the secret thing that made me feel like I wanted to be alive. And there were some days where that was the only thing that made me feel like I wanted to be alive. No one sat me down and said, like, Frank, what do you like to do? Everyone was like, go be a lawyer, be a doctor, do this, do that, do this, do that. No one said, what do you like to do? What do you love to do? You know, so it's cool that you guys are here. It isn't easy coming into stuff like this on your day off, but this is the type of stuff, you know, that'll help you achieve your goals and achieve your dreams in the long run. Because I didn't get nothing like this. Young, successful people from home sitting in front of us and saying, I did it, you can do it too.
My freshman year, I went to a donor luncheon for Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and at the donor luncheon, they asked me, well, where are you from? And I said, well, I'm from the Rosebud Reservation, and I'm Chikungu Lakota. And they looked at me like all confused, and I didn't know what to say, and I was like, I'm Native American, and they still don't know what to say. Like, they didn't know that there's many of us that still exist.
Do any of you guys ever think about maybe why that is? I think that comes from how history is taught in this country and the way we're portrayed in the media. Just think about it. Do you see a lot of things like natives how we are today? There was a study done that like 87% of US history books in this country that are taught to kids in high school don't mention us past the 1800s. That's over half. That's over 3/4. And so I think that's why it's important that we have control over our own stories, you know, and put out positive stories of hope and real stories about what it's really like. That's what I do with my music. I think, you know, that's what Native Hope's doing. That's what this documentary is doing. I think that's important that we show the world what we look like through our eyes. Because throughout history, all we've seen is what non-natives think about us and how they see us. But I think what matters is how we see ourselves and what we think about ourselves.
Native hope is growing, spreading the concept of story as a powerful force for both healing and hope to Native populations across the country. Their stories are our stories.